What is up, everybody? It is Friday. Welcome to PuckTime, WagerTalk TV. Myself, Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, and the Prez. Yes, his first name is the, last name is Prez. Looking forward to a very, very good show. I always tell you guys this. Friday is a small slate, but we can't forget about the days with the small slates. There's always money to be made. Look forward to hopefully finding some winners. We've got the Sabres, the Panthers, Knights, Capitals, Jets, Ducks. A lot of good stuff to get to. Carmine has his 6 and 60. We've got the play of the day. I got some goal scoring props for you guys today. Look forward to a very good one. Carm, good morning to you, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I would be a hell of a lot better if the New York Rangers could score on a power play in overtime. They're the difference between what could have been a very good day for me overall, with a couple of soccer winners, and then I was pretty much 1-1 going into that OT power play. Couldn't get it, and then they allow a goal and they lose the game. So it is the overtimes, man. Gets overtime. It's like a coin flip. But with that said, such a big weekend ahead, Andrew. We're catching up. We're playing catch up in the NHL, which is good. We have the Prez coming in, and then he is going to be gone he is going, Andrew. He's going away for 6 weeks, but he's still coming on PuckTime. He's still coming on PuckTime. He's going to be doing the whole pizza French fry thing. You know what the pizza French fry thing is? That is how you teach someone to ski. He already knows how to ski, but pizza French fry. I got that from a commercial. He's going to break down the Florida Panthers, who had the night off last night against the Leafs, and the Buffalo Sabres. We're going to have him talk about that one. Vegas Golden Knights in Washington, Winnipeg and Anaheim. Let's go Ducks. Kraken tonight. The pod. I've got a pod play for you. The Seattle Kraken, where they cracked it yesterday. Ugh. Same game parlay from you, and then the return of the 6 and 60, man. I'm looking forward to that as well, too. 6 and 60 was tough because, again, we have this first week of the NHL, Andrew, back from the Olympic break is super tough, I believe. But you know what wasn't super tough yesterday? Apparently, there was some guy who's coming on the show that had a 5% winner in the NBA. Prez.
Let's bring him on. What's up, Prez?
Okay, so right off the bat, I want to thank everybody for all the beautiful accolades, all the speeches that were made, all the, the poems that were written. I think there was a Mexican song written about me. So greatly appreciate being here. Last we left off, I begged and pleaded with you people to buy my 4% NHL money line bet. Cashed it. Came back yesterday with a 5% NBA bet. That was on Houston against Orlando. A lot of drama, and we got it done. Cashed 2 big plays in a row. So many of you guys purchased that and bet with me. I am so greatly appreciative. So thank you. As for going away,
big fourth quarter there in that game.
They were down by 19 points in the third, bro.
What was the number?
I had him on the money line at minus 138.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that I was a little bit freaking out. I do want to make mention. I'm not going away, Carl. See, when you own a home in Whistler, you're going home. That's all.
Or away to your home.
I'm leaving one home. I'm going to another home. But I'm going to be doing my shows every single day. I'm on PuckTime at least once a week. I'm good to go, man. So I'm going nowhere. I'm just going home. That's all. Going home.
Let me ask you. I have a quick question before we get to the Buffalo and Florida game. I'm not sure if you saw the Leaf game. You must have at least seen the highlights of the game. When you see the players falling all over the ice like the Leafs did yesterday, do you blame that on like the skates, like they weren't sharpened properly? Do you blame it on them being coached by the Australian breakdancer? Like, so what do you blame for that game?
Unlike 99% of the people in this world today, I don't play a blame game. I'm the victim. I'm the idiot that likes the Leafs. I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody. This is on me. I'm a grown adult, and I could like another team if I want. And you know what? I want. I am now officially a San Jose Sharks fan.
Wow, not even the Sabres. They're a little closer. You can get to a game. By the way, it's a shame that you won't be back for March the 27th. I am going to Buffalo to watch the Sabres and the Detroit Red Wings, and coming to town to watch the game, coming to Buffalo to watch the game is our fearless leader in Detroit, Johnny Detroit, and his beautiful wife, Paula.
You guys are all going to the Buffalo game?
Yeah, Detroit and Buffalo.
Nice.
March 27th.
That's awesome. Have fun.
Yep.
Are they it's how far is the drive from Detroit to Buffalo?
4 hours. They come through Canada apparently. So
they cross through. I have made that drive. It was a long time ago, but I don't remember how long it was. But that's not so bad.
No, they're going to stay in town for a couple of days, I believe, there as well too. So, or in Niagara. So it'll be a great trip for them. Looking forward to getting together. This is one of the times where I get together with them and watch a Detroit game where I will not be wearing a Detroit jersey. I will be donning the Jack Eichel Buffalo Sabres retro.
The retro
one, because I refuse to remove or buy a new jersey or remove the name off of it. Whatever.
Do you?
Anyways, Florida Panthers -115, Buffalo Sabres -105. Where are you going with this one?
I'm going with the under, Carm. I mean, let me just start by saying this. Florida Panthers are plus 230, 225 to make the playoffs. I'd like there to be a little bit more value there. I feel like that line is slightly soft, but I think there is a real shot at this team going on a big run. I mean, this is, there's no panic in Florida. The Tkachuk is back playing. They have 63 points. That is 8 out of playoff contention with Boston and Buffalo. This is a huge game because Buffalo is one of the teams they are chasing down. I think there is a shot that Florida really goes on a big run today. If I had to bet a side, I would take Florida. Again, in keeping with the fact that I think they're going to go on a big run, and they got to beat Buffalo if they're going to make the playoffs. I prefer the under. I look at this and I think to myself, Buffalo is a team that has a tendency to score. They only put up 2 against New Jersey, and before the break, they put up 2 against Pittsburgh, 3 against Tampa Bay, 2 against Montreal. And I think Florida, because they lack scoring punch, I think this is a team that is going to lock other teams down. This is a team that I think is going to play to the under night in, night out. I think teams are going to struggle to average 3 goals or more against them on a regular basis. So I really like the under here, and you can get 6.5. I lean on Florida. And if Florida does lose tonight and we can get that number closer to plus 300, I like Florida to make the playoffs as well.
It feels like
it's going to be a tough. I was going to say it's going to be a tough out for them. Again, they're a team with a ton of quality on that team. They can still probably make a couple moves to get some guys in, but that was one of their 10 remaining home games. This is another one of their remaining home games. After this, of their final 23 games after tonight, 15 of them are on the road. They're going to have to win big games against good Eastern Conference teams on the road.
So basically, I think it's the same thing they did the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's a little different this year. I think the parity in the Eastern Conference this year is a little different. I think going into, and you might think I'm joking here, but going into places like Ottawa, who are starting to play a little bit better, going into places like Montreal, who are playing better. It's different than it was last year, where you could go into those cities and they were pretty much done towards the end of the year. Those teams are all playing for something now. So they are essentially 4-point games, because you can't go to Boston. You can't go to Buffalo. You can't go to Montreal and have a game go to overtime. You have to win that game in regulation because you can't be sharing points either.
Yeah, well, there's a reason they're plus 250, 240 to make the playoffs. I also want to throw, you didn't ask about this, but I want to tell you guys, the Jets are plus 800 to make the playoffs. Make that bet right now, right this second. Like literally press pause on this show, head over and at least put $20 on that bet, $30. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Jets are going to make the playoffs. That's why they're plus 800. But man, this Jets, the schedule lines up for them. This is a veteran team, a President's trophy winning team. I know they're 9 out. I get it. That's why they're plus 800. I really like this.
I got to put this on the screen. We donate WagerTalk, and they just did a big donation every month. But for my man Gus, here you go, Gus. I'm rubbing with both hands for that tip. Gus is tipping. We got the good luck head rub, and let's make some money.
Yeah.
But
so Titans writes, Lawrence, why not take the Wild to win the Cup? I actually gave the Wild out to win the Cup on the best betting show ever last week at plus 1,900. They were my second best futures bet to win the Cup behind, I know, square as can be, the Colorado Avalanche at plus 350. I think the Colorado Avalanche are light years ahead of any team in the league. Obviously, a hot goalie like we saw in the gold medal game could put an end to that. But I think at 3.5 to 1, Colorado is the best futures bet out there. The second best would be the Wild at plus 1,900, and the third best would be the Jets to make the playoffs at plus 800.
I think the one thing, too, with Colorado Avalanche is they're going to make moves at the deadline.
Yes, they will.
Some people think that Nazem Kadri is going to go back to them now, which is going to be super interesting to see if that ends up happening because they made that trade, Sam Girard for Brett Kulak. They now have over $8 million in cap space.
You know who would
trade deadline? One of the best teams in the league, Prez, and they have $8 million in cap space available to them. It's pretty good. And I just wanted to say, as far as Florida's concerned, I think it's so interesting, Prez, because it's one of those spots right now for them where they're going to either go on a run or we're going to find out really these next 10 games for every team.
Well, it's all happening before Friday of next week. Otherwise, Bobo is gone.
Right. And that's the problem is that for some teams, and I'm not even just saying this, when it comes to the Maple Leafs,
it's probably a good thing they lost their first 2 games after the break because losing those first 2 games, it makes a clear indication to management what the right move is at the deadline.
There is no right move. Well, they have nobody to trade.
Well, if they keep Bobby McMahon, they're absolutely not.
Oh, great. We might get a 5th rounder. Yay.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson. These guys.
A 7th rounder. Yay.
Well, would you rather than keep him? They can't
in
keep
1
him.
week's time. In 1 week's time, Bobby McMahon is going to be wearing an Edmonton Oilers jersey.
I would love that, dude. You know who would look really good in an Edmonton Oilers jersey? Austin freaking Matthews. Yeah. And Morgan freaking Riley. And William freaking Nylander. Take all 3 of those twats. Anyway, I'm not a Leaf fan. I'm a San Jose fan. Can we talk about the Sharks? Macklin Celebrini, baby. My man, 71. Great hair. His dad looks cool as shit, too.
You got a cool dad.
Yeah. So, go Sharks.
All right. So we have the Minnesota Wild, who are a good Cup future. We have Winnipeg Jets to make the playoffs. I actually like that play.
Thank you, Carmine.
I do. I really do. I think they're get by the Jets, get by the Ducks tonight, and the roll starts. You know that tonight the Ducks are going to, or the fan base are going to welcome Connor Hellebuck, who's supposed to be starting in goal tonight. They are going to give him an absolute standing ovation tonight in Anaheim.
Sure, maybe.
He's the guy who won them the Cup. So I won them the gold.
I got to run, but I want to address OG Hater here. Because last time I was on, I ended by addressing some guy. This guy calling someone else a twat is historical. Come on. How great is that? I am so freaking important that I did something historical. Like historical. Are you kidding me? Come on. How many people in their lives can do something historical? Come on. Come on.
Okay. I will end this with this before you do your promo. You know, it would be absolutely, because
So
you love
great.
you love these free play videos. So how's this? Andrew and I are challenging you to wear a GoPro as you are skiing down the hill and giving out a free play at the same time.
Well, I can't. What I'll do is I will do it this way so that you can see my face while I give out a play as I ski down the hill.
Right.
Anyway,
What do you got? What do you got to promote?
Redskin. Of course, I'm so annoying, brother. Come on, man. It's not news. Anyway, promo. I'm on a roll. We all know that. 8-2 in my last 10 NBA plays, 6-2 in my last 8 NHL plays. I got one NBA bet, one NHL bet, and one college basketball bet all over at WagerTalk.com. I'm not begging you to play my plays tonight. You don't need to buy me. Buy someone else. But when I do beg, like I did yesterday and the day before, take that seriously. As for the haters out there, I love you guys. Please make sure to comment after the show goes live. Everybody today, put a word up there that describes your feeling towards the Prez. Yeah, let's do that. Piss on me all day long. Just make sure to do it in the comment section so that I make money as a result of your hate. Thank you, everyone.
Prez, I like having you on Fridays.
I love this.
Mondays and Fridays, I'd prefer to open or close my, I always told Carm that I like to have Fridays be just me and him, but one thing no one can take away is the energy you bring. I'll be very concerned and upset and calling Vivian if you ever come on here and you're not screaming and shouting. I like your energy today, Prez.
Oh, aren't you so sweet?
That's my compliment of the day. Now get the hell out of here.
Go. Love you guys. I really do. I appreciate you all, especially you, OG Hater and Wash Redskin. I love.
3, 2, 1. He's gone.
Oh.
He's gone. He's out of here.
Andrew.
Get this guy.
I'm back, bitches.
He's got control too, just like I do, and Carm does.
Hold on, I gotta find a way of. There we go. I got rid of him.
Now he's gone.
Andrew.
Now he's officially gone.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with half of what you said. I prefer having him on Fridays as opposed to Mondays because Monday I deal with the trauma for the next 5 days. Friday I get 48 hours to recover before Monday arrives.
True.
Come on, man. But listen, we have taken up a lot of time. And speaking of him mentioning Washington Capitals, Vancouver Canucks, Vegas Golden Knights. I'm totally off my train here. Minus 115, minus 105. Another one of these 115, 105, pretty much coin flips, Andrew. 5.5 is the total here. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, I got to tell you, Carm, like when it comes to this Washington team, it's a team that I said I've been looking at, jumping on and being a team that I'm going to track for the next little while here. But when it comes to Logan Thompson, when it comes to the defense in this game, I think this is going to be one of those funny games where the Vegas Golden Knights were missing Marner, Stone, and Eichel and these guys. And there was a bunch of goals, right? And now we're going to have the game where we get them back. And then this game might go under the total. It's sometimes things just work the way that they shouldn't work. A team has a backup quarterback in for a certain week, and all of a sudden they find their offense. Some stuff like that you can't explain. But this, to me, sticks out as one of those spots where you're going to see the Vegas Golden Knights put up 6 goals without all their top players. And then now they're going to play against a Washington team with Logan Thompson, and it's going to end up being a low-scoring game. So I think overall this game appeals to me as an under spot here. The Capitals are a team that I'm looking for over the next handful of games to get rolling, play some good hockey, play some good defense. As I mentioned to you a couple days ago, this Capitals team only had a few players at the Olympics. Logan Thompson played one game and one game only, so I do think that helps them out quite a bit. Carm, I lean towards the under in this game, despite it being just 5.5. What do you think?
I would as well too. Listen, I love the way Washington played against Philadelphia. Had Washington in that game, and I think, Andrew, they are within shooting distance of making a playoff run. These are games in which you have to win. I know Brian Leonard talked about those non-conference type of games, but the Washington Capitals can't afford to drop games on home ice. If I look at their splits, I think they had 23 games only 23 games left going into that game against Philadelphia, and now 22 games, only 10 at home. This is one of them. It's a game in which they need to win. We know this Vegas Golden Knights team, like, they took advantage of an LA Kings team that there is something other than Fiala. Fiala wouldn't have made a difference in that game against the Vegas Golden Knights, because Fiala wouldn't have made a difference to what the LA Kings experienced last night. The Oilers beat them 8-1. They've allowed 14 goals in those games. This is probably a truer test for the Vegas Golden Knights, because they're going to get a team that can play some defense, that are playing well, and that want to win the game and need to win the game. This is one where I would lay. I know you like the under. I think the under actually for this one sort of correlates with Washington. Washington wins it. They're going to win it 3-1, 3-2, somewhere along those lines. So I'll even take a 4-1 because that 4-1 scoreline, we never see the empty netter. So it's give me the Capitals tonight. Ovi. I think Ovi needs one or two more goals at home to have the second highest scorer at home amongst all NHL teams lifetime, Wayne Gretzky being the number one. But I also think, isn't Ovi like one or two goals away from like 1,000 goals lifetime, like playoffs and NHL? I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I think he'll pass. Yeah, all together, right? And it's not just the Washington Capitals record now; it's everything all together. But I agree with you, Carm, with that. And we've got the comment saying front half of back-to-back for Washington, and Logan Thompson already confirmed. So I think he'll make a huge impact with that team. So
okay, we agree on the Caps. I love it. Oh, look at you! You got the roll up the rim, eh?
The roll up the rim. You know what?
Roll up the rim.
Good family member. My brother just dropped this off to me during the show.
Guys, for our friends south of the border that are watching right now, obviously Tim Hortons, there are a few of them down there in the States, but you guys are more Dunkin' Donuts guys. We don't have them up here. I watched the news today. I was watching the news, the American news, Andrew, and do you know that Dunkin' Donuts, not across the U.S., they're not rolling it across all the states. They came out with a 42 or 45 or a 48 ounce tub of a drink. Like it's I don't know if it's a coffee. I don't know if it's like one of their iced coffees or what have you. It's a tub. You just stick a straw in it. Do you know what sugar must be in that thing to drink that? I don't get it. Maybe if you guys in the chat there, if you guys can check it, what Dunkin' Donuts is doing in the States, I am pretty sure it is like 45 ounces of, I can't even imagine drinking that. It would be like, here, Carm, have 2 pounds of laxatives and we'll see you on tomorrow's show.
Yeah. Well, you know how I knew that it wasn't good for you, Carm? When I went to Dunkin' Donuts when I was in Boston, and they had the calorie count on every single item. Like, I don't know about where you live, Carm, but for me, not every restaurant or coffee shop is going to list the calories. When I go buy a coffee, it's not telling me how many calories are in the coffee. That probably tells you all you have to know if they're telling you how many calories are in there. It's like a dietary warning.
Yeah, dude, I got diabetes just watching the clip on TV. I haven't even tried it yet. So with that said, listen, let's get back to hockey because that's what really matters here. Anaheim Ducks, fresh off a nice win the other night against the Edmonton Oilers. They are minus 130 here. Winnipeg Jets plus 110. I mentioned, Andrew, about the whole Connor Hellebuck should be in goal tonight, should get the warm welcome from the fans. But after that, it is every man for himself and trying to light him up in goal. Where are you going with this one?
You're right. The question is, can Hellebuck maintain what he did at the Olympics? The guy was phenomenal. The only thing is he's not going to have the same defensive crew as he did at the Olympics with, Hughes and Werenski and all those guys. But Carm, overall, I'm going to go right back to a total again. I lean towards the under in this one as well. I think we see a good defensive game. I think we see a low-scoring battle. I think we have Lucas Dostal set to start tonight, or is it Dostal? I think we have Lucas
it should be Dostal in goal tonight. Yeah,
set to start. So with that matchup, and Hellebuck gets that rest that he needed with Eric Comrie playing in the first game back, and that's the one that cashed you the ticket on the POD. So I think the under's the move here. I think this Anaheim Ducks team, the one thing I'm worried about, Carm, is that some of these unsustainable numbers that teams have, when I've tried to get in front of them, it doesn't always work. You don't want to catch the falling knife, or you also don't want to try and get in front of a hot streak. And the big thing I like to look at now when I use analytics is the shooting percentage. And the Anaheim Ducks, Carm, their shooting percentage it's too good for how many shots they take. It's far too high out of the norm. So I do think their offense is going to slow down. I know you're a fan of the team, but I think Winnipeg's going to accept that they have to keep things low scoring. I like the under 6.5 here. A little bit chalky with the under, Carm. And to be quite frank, I kind of lean towards Winnipeg. Would you not agree with me? This is kind of a put up or shut up game for the Winnipeg Jets. If you can't keep it close in this game, I don't know what to say about the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, Andrew, I talked about when I talked about the Winnipeg Jets, I think it was a couple days ago or whatever. I talked about what their schedule looked like, and the Jets played Vancouver, who played them tough, but Jets got the win. That's all that really matters for them right now, is picking up the points. They're going to play this Anaheim team twice during this 8-game stretch that they have. They play Vancouver, Anaheim, then the suddenly struggling San Jose Sharks. Then they get the Chicago Blackhawks, a tough one against Tampa Bay, but then they get Vancouver again, Anaheim, and the Rangers. Like, those are games in which they should win 6 of those 8 games. The Tampa one is, I think, is a tough out for them because of the way Tampa Bay is playing. Even last night, falling behind twice against the Canes and then almost coming back to win that one. But that's a tough one. And then I tend to believe that they're going to likely split these 2 games against Anaheim, even though they're not back-to-backs. Obviously, it's better for them if they win this one because the second one is at home against the Ducks.
Yeah.
6 of 8 puts them right back into that race. It doesn't get them into a playoff spot, but when there's a big difference between being 9 to 10 points back or being 3 to 4 points back, where every game becomes crucial from that point forward. And we saw teams the past few years, the Eastern Conference, Washington Capitals went on that run at the end. Pittsburgh Penguins went on a run. Florida Panthers on that run. The first run they had where they played the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals and lost. They were on the outside looking in and made a fantastic run. So got to be within shooting distance of this one. I tend to agree. Looking at the goalies in this one and looking at the under, I would probably take the 6.5. At 6, it would keep me off of it. At 6.5, I'm tempted to take the under, and I think it's a good play.
What are your thoughts, Carm? Like, you and I have talked about this a lot together before, but like, how do you feel about, a heavily juiced total? It's always nice when we can get our plays as best numbers we possibly can. But I do think that 6.5 is so key. It makes the 4-2 a winner and not a push. right? And when you look at the 6.5 with the relatively heavy juice, I feel for me, it's as long as I'm not doing it every day. But if you see a 6.5 you want to get after, and there's a couple sixes, I recommend my clients to shop for the 6.5 because I do think it's that much of a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be some books. It depends on. This is why having like multiple outs matters. If you're looking at whether it's over-unders, and this is a prime example of a game in which you need multiple outs because the public books, the books like, let's say, FanDuel and DraftKings are going to have 6.5s, and they're going to juice it to the under. It's because they don't want pushes. They want a winner from bettors at the end of the day. Either you hit the over 6.5 or you lost on the over 6.5, and vice versa with the unders. A lot of the other books will put out a flat line of sixes. And if you look at the WagerTalk live lines, the free one, or you go to Odds Logic, you will find it there. There are plenty of books that have a flat 6, and I think probably like 15 cents to the over. 15 cents to the over on a 6 is pretty much the same as a minus 125 to minus 135 on the under 6.5. That's the value of the half goal and the possibility of a push as opposed to a win or a loss. So I will say that much. I think it is having the options. So if you're an over better, you obviously don't want to play a public book. You want to play one of the other ones that have a flat 6 because it could land on 6 and you get a push out of it, or it lands on 7 and you win. And conversely, if you like the under, you don't want to be playing under 6. You want to be playing the under 6.5. So for obvious reasons. So with that said, Andrew, I don't mind laying the VIG in this spot. And it's one of those ones where you have to lay it pregame because this is one of those ones where even if you said to yourself, well, let me see if there's an early goal in this game, I'm going to get a better price than 6.5. I don't think the 6.5 will be available at many of the places. And then more so, if there's no goal scored in the first 5 or 6 minutes, the VIG on that 6.5 is going to be that much heavier on the under. You might actually lose that 6.5 and it goes to 6, 5.5 as well too.
And the problem is, I think, Carm, when you look at these spots, is that, as you mentioned, a lot of times, let's say you're saying, oh, I'm going to wait, right? It's like sometimes if it's a soccer game where you say like, oh, I like the over 2.75 or something like that. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot to take Carmine's bet. And then I go and I check 15 minutes into the match and it's already 1-0, right? And then you missed out on your number. So sometimes if you try and get in live and wait, then what if there's no goals in the first 10 minutes? All of a sudden the 6.5 is gone and it turns into a 6 or 5.5 now, right? So it's tough to do that sometimes because you're playing with fire.
But this is the best information in the sense of or the best advice is just because the game is there does not mean you need to bet it, right? If you miss it, don't take a worse line. Don't take a worse number because you want to get on it, because you could end up with the good old fashioned, the older guys might understand it, the Polish middle, where the number that you got and the number that you should have gotten, it lands in between the two and you end up with a losing wager on what would have initially been a winning one. Don't take a game when you've lost the best number. There's something to be said about closing line value. There's also something to be said about making bad bets, and bad bets are bad numbers that you shouldn't be taking. So I will preach that until the day that I die, because I was one of those guys when I was younger. Take a bad number. I'm like, it doesn't matter. They're going to win. And you know how many times you got to go broke before you learn the lesson? Quite a few. And poker players will tell you, the good poker players will tell you, and I'm not putting myself in the good poker players category. The very good poker players will tell you how many times they went broke before they learned the game and playing it the right way. And the same thing with sports bettors. Gianni the Greek talks about it. You have to lose a lot of money before you start to make a lot of money. So
100%.
That said,
and making the right bets. One thing I love to hear what he says, making the right bets.
Yeah.
Like you said, get the best of the number. That's why we talk about odds logic, man. Being able to shop around, no matter where you live. if you are an active sports bettor, you need to have, I would say, at minimum 3 outs, probably. Would you agree, Carm?
Yeah.
At minimum?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to, Andrew. I think you have to have multiple outs, especially I talk to people about it with soccer. Like I have a subscriber out west in Canada for hockey, for soccer. And he picked up like a 30-day package I worked out for him. In BC, they are handcuffed because they have like the BC lottery or their sports book. Their sports book is miserable. It is not a soccer friendly book. So he'll be like, okay, so how do I play this one? And he'll send me some screenshots, and I look at him like, what the hell, man? It's just it's a bad platform. But unfortunately, FanDuel and DraftKings can't go in there where you can get like the better ones. You have to, with the World Cup coming up, and I'm gonna kick ass. I'm telling you, I'm gonna kick ass in the World Cup. I am going to preach to people to have soccer friendly books because they know so many people are going to be betting that some of these books are going to put out like lines in which you can't get the actual bet you want. So you look for a variation of it, and the variation is where they get you. Right. So, which blows. But with that said, Andrew, I'm going to do the pod first.
Okay.
Then you'll do the same game parlay, and then I'll go to the 6 and 60. So we mix it up a bit. But with that said, Andrew, I lost with the Seattle Kraken yesterday. I need to get back on track here. And it is not that one. It is this one. What gets me on track for the first time, I think, this season as an NHL pod, I am taking the Buffalo Sabres. Yes, look at that number. And if you don't think that number has, not the Sabres number, but the number in general on this game is fishy enough that they have made the Florida Panthers a team that needs to win games, essentially a coin flip on the second of a back-to-back. And it'll be their backup goalie, I believe, in goal tonight against one of their former goalies. I think Alex Lyon is going to be starting for the Buffalo Sabres tonight against this Florida team. Even money on the Sabres in a spot where in years past, the Sabres would have been plus 140, plus 150, plus 160 in this exact identical spot. The Sabres are playing well. The Florida Panthers need a win, but this is a spot where the Sabres played extremely well out of the gate and post-Olympic break, and I say they get the victory here at even money. So that is your pod play.
Karma, I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm looking forward to watching that game. I'm actually looking forward to watching that game. It's going to be a good hockey game, and
yeah.
I think that, Prez was talking about it. Like the whole Florida situation is really interesting because if they win tonight, which I hope they lose, I'm cheering for your pod and I'm cheering for them. What do we think about Florida? This is a team that needs to be shut down and put in the grave. If they lose tonight to Buffalo, they'll have to have a big exhale. Like they're going to need to go on a run of a lifetime for them to have any type of success. And they want to get to the dance because as well as I do, Carm, they don't care where they finish. And you always talked about it with Tampa Bay back when they were winning their Stanley Cups. You don't have to be first in the division to have success in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Listen, Andrew, we all fall into coming up with like narratives in our heads that we try and justify making bets. And it's kind of like a couple of years ago, or even last year, the Washington Capitals. Yeah, they're not winning the conference. This is a team that the year before struggled to make the playoffs. They were like a minus 30. What makes you think they're going to turn it around all of a sudden? And then the Washington Capitals win the conference, right? The Boston Bruins, they were President's Trophy winners. They're not going to have a bad season. Come on, man. They're going to make the playoffs. The New York Rangers last year. Come on. The Rangers, they'll eventually start to win. They're a buy-on team. I think I said the Rangers were a buy-on team like 3 or 4 times last year. 3 or 4 times I was wrong. You convince yourself that the makeup of a team from previous years carries over to the following year or doesn't carry over to the following year, and you come up with a narrative, and then you end up losing money. and this is why we do what we do. We try to explain this to you guys. Don't make the mistakes I made, 20 years ago or whatever, or even last season. So with that said, yeah, the Florida Panthers made it to the Stanley Cup 3 years ago. They lost. They made it to the Stanley Cup last year. They won. They made it to the Stanley Cup 2 years ago on that order, but they won. Yeah, they're a Stanley Cup winning team. Does it mean they're going to make the playoffs this year? No, it doesn't.
Yes,
they could
exactly.
miss it. So, this is where we are. Like, we are trying to justify reasons why the Florida Panthers are all of a sudden going to win 16 of their last 22 games and make the playoffs. I don't see how that happens, but especially when 15 of their last 23 games are on the road. And I will post their record on Monday of what who they play, where they play, and we'll come up with that. But with that said, Andrew, I don't think Florida's making the playoffs. I would love nothing better than the Sabres to put a little nail into the coffin tonight while helping themselves out at the same time, but we shall see.
Take them out of the playoff picture, Carm. Get them out of that playoff picture.
With that said, Andrew, you know what the time it is. We need McInnis pod play, man. Do it.
All right.
Give us the winners.
All right, we got so I've got a lot of goal scoring props. I've been really getting into the goal scoring props, using different websites for my resources, and we got a handful for today. So, Carm, this is one of those things where I always tell people when it comes to player props, it's tough for me to release to clients because there's such variance with goal scoring props, right? So, if I go 4-1 one day, it's great, or if you go 3-3 every day, but yesterday, I think it was 1-4, 1-3. Bedard scored a goal, but then throughout the night, I posted pics and videos and stuff, and we cashed some other ones. So you guys got to bear with me and make sure you follow me on X. But here are the picks for today: Cole Perfetti plus 320, JJ Peterka plus 300, Jason Zucker plus 265, Nick Schmaltz plus 220, Dylan Gunther plus 190, and Sam Bennett plus 280. I've gone through a lot of team stats, a lot of skater stats, and I've looked at goalie matchups as well. These are the players that I liked out of the gate, my initial look, my first thoughts for goal scoring props, and especially if we're going bargain hunting, that plus 320 on Perfetti, that plus 300 on JJ Peterka, those could be some nice tickets to cash. So if you guys want to sprinkle on these, pick and choose your spots, but I do like these ones quite a bit. So let's cash some tickets, guys. Pick and choose your spots. Use the spaghetti strainer, find the ones you like. Find the game you're going to be watching. But these are some player props that I am on for tonight. As I mentioned, it's difficult, Carm, to give these out to clients because, I could hit 3 of these and have a good night, right? And you know how it is with player props. With plus money like plus 300, you don't need to go, 5-2 to make money. So hopefully you guys can bear with me, but let's cash some player props, man. Yesterday, Cole Caulfield, Connor Bedard, all the top dogs are scoring. We got to start giving out some goal scoring props here on the show.
I'm going to take the Sabre that you took and the former Sabre. I'm going to take JJ Peterka to score tonight, and then I'm going to take Zucker tonight down in Florida against this Florida Panthers team. Got to do it.
There we go.
He's got a little in him or whatever. So we'll see if he can get the job done. But with that said, it is time for the 6 and 60, Andrew.
Here we go.
I don't know how this is going to go. The 6 and 60s have gone pretty good for the most part all season long. I think our best result was 5 wins and a push where we lost or we pushed on a total. But let's see if we can get a 6-0 day and avoid an 0-6 day. With that said, Andrew, you got the clock ready?
I
I'm
am
gonna start it
ready.
right on
Watching the
45
clock.
minutes. Go. Here we go. This is your 6 and 60 Rangers and Pens. No Crosby, no problem. They got the job done against New Jersey. Rangers, they gave it up yesterday. Give me the Pens money line. St. Louis and New Jersey, Devils 6 straight unders, including both games post-Olympics. Give me the under 5.5 in this one. Carolina and Detroit, the Canes are 14-1-3. Their last 18 games, including a win over the NHL's hottest team on Thursday night, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Give me the Canes money line. Montreal and Washington, Caps are on the second of a back-to-back. They play Friday night. They're 3-7 this season on the second of a back-to-back. Give me Montreal money line. Toronto and Ottawa. Guys, this is going to be a physical game with a lot of penalties. Ottawa's going to bring it against the Leafs. A lot of penalties, a lot of power plays. I think a lot of goals. Give me the over 6.5. Seattle and Vancouver. Seattle returns home off of 2 very bad losses, but they've won 4 or 5 at home and 8 straight losses for Vancouver. It's 9 after this one. That is your 6 and 60.
God bless the Vancouver Canucks and God bless the 6 and 60. Great stuff, Carm. Man, I love hearing you talk about the Montreal Canadiens in a good way. And at the end of the day, it would take a bold person right now to want to bet on the Vancouver Canucks, Carm. So hard to blame you for saying, you know what? Check the box. We're fading the Canucks tonight.
Yeah, we're going to see. And, you know, the interesting thing is we have to see some moves soon from a lot of these teams. You know, they were talking about the Rangers last night. Schneider, I think it's Schneider that on the Rangers, and them moving him because he's due a contract, and they likely don't want to re-sign him because it's going to cost them money. So we're going to see some players moving. I think over the next few days, it's going to throw a lot of these team lineups and a lot of the lines in these games into a flux. But we shall see what comes from it, Andrew. Andrew, I'm going to make mine quick, and then you have a pretty cool promo that you can pop up there. Andrew, you're there, right? You're not frozen? Andrew kind of looks frozen. Do I poke him? Andrew has left the building. Oh God! Or he's shocked by the fact that I released the Montreal Canadiens in the 6 and 60. Guys, we have a great deal up. Let me put this up on the screen. 3 days. Let me get rid of this one and put this one up. I don't know what Andrew did, but with that said, and Andrew's left the building. This is too funny. I'm dying here. Anyways, and he's gone. Guys, that 2-for-1 deal with the 2 hosts is still available. You get both $59 for 3 days, all of Andrew's NHL, all of my NHL as part of that deal. I think it's a great deal. Up a couple plays in soccer for this afternoon. Number 1 in 2026 in soccer at WagerTalk. And I'm going to keep that run going. A bit of a stutter yesterday, 1-2 in the NHL. The Rangers obviously disappointed us and kept us from a winning night on the ice. I will have 1 play up for tonight. It'll be up right after the show. Pick up the 3-day all access. You'll get all my plays on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I have a huge card loaded. That's going to be loaded for Saturday's action, both across NHL and in European soccer and MLS, which kicked off last week, and we kicked it off with a 5% winner. So we will try and keep that going. I will bring Andrew back. Here he is. Let's add him to the stage.
What's up?
What happened to you, man?
I don't know what happened, but somehow my computer was not fully plugged in or something. But we are back. We got the mic. We got the camera stand. Carm, all I wanted to mention, I'm sure you already mentioned it, was that great deal we have with me and you, the BOGO special for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of our NHL plays. I've got my every game on the board video that'll be up. And we actually have a special guest joining me on the every game on the board video, Carm. It's Timothy from our live chat. I said, you know what? You've been in our live chat, so loyal to us. He's handicapping as well. He's joining me. So every game on the board for Saturday will be up. And I have a 4% best bet in the NHL for tonight, Friday night. I always say we cannot forget about these smaller slates. And I do think there's money to be made tonight in the NHL, Carm. So let's do it, man. I'm happy I was able to come back on with you. Hopefully we can make some money tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get a couple of these other guys up on your show. Maybe get Hal. I think he's got like one of those big cardboard heads of me that he holds up at games that says, Carm number 1 or whatever. Get that guy on the show or whatever as well too. But listen, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in each and every day. Full card next week. A ton of NHL games. The race to the Cup and the Cup playoffs begins in earnest. So we want you guys to join us along the way. For myself, Andrew McInnis, the Prez, who is gone skiing now. He's going to go practice his pizza and French fry poses. This is Puck Time, guys. We will see you on Monday. Have a safe and prosperous weekend of betting.